Welcome to the broadcast. Kyle Saunders, Stickstar Productions, bringing you Lone Star Alliance action. Little North versus South battle today. Texas State out of the South Division, TCU playing host to the Bobcats here in Fort Worth on the beautiful campus of Texas Christian University. I'm joined by special guest, the man. Great to see him. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. But Patrick Franklin, the hype man. How are we doing today, Patrick?
Doing pretty good, man. Just excited to take in some quality lacrosse here in Fort Worth this morning. A couple of north-south powerhouses in the LSA. We're going to get to take it in. It's going to be a nice little day here. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Was out here yesterday. It's a much nicer day today to be at the table calling this game. Opening face squirts back to the defensive zone. Luke Taylor comes up with it and clears it for Texas State. We've got Dylan Lemon down here, moves it up over the top to Elliott Smith. Over there on the corner, we've got Trevor Hensley. Hensley lining his guy up. Texas State organized from the get-go. They take a big sweep, look to follow it. Down the alley, can't connect. Ball's off the end line, going TCU ball.
Was Cummins in the goal yesterday for the Horned Frogs?
No, yesterday against SMU, Ryan Lawton was in the crease for the Horned Frogs. He played great.
That's a nice little lefty-righty switch they got going on there. Both quality goalies. I'd be happy and thrilled as a coach to have that little matchup.
Yeah, it's nice to not have any goalie issues, and neither one of these teams do. Both of them with two very quality goaltenders. There's a great ride back by Texas State. They're out and running. Find Hanner, look inside to win. State just having trouble connecting some early passes here. Ball's at guys' feet. We'll look for them to clean it up.
Let them know the perspective low. We're trying to keep the camera out there.
TCU clearing the ball. Looks like Texas State's making it really tough in the right. What are you seeing there right now from them?
They're just trying to get out there and make plays a little bit. They're really just getting after these guys. That's what, so 1 out of 3 now for TCU on the clears early.
Yeah, they had some clearing issues early in the season in games that we called, but yesterday they really had cleaned it up. Played a very solid game against SMU right up until the end. I think they took a 2-goal lead into the half before SMU just really kind of got it going. And they had plenty of scoring opportunities late. There's a shot from TCU. It's a defender. Texas State looks up and out. Blake Taylor having trouble handling that here on the near side. Turnover in the clear for State. Second chance opportunity for the Frogs. Texas State really playing hard, working to deny any easy passes in the clear.
Yeah, it's been kind of a hectic first little start here. A lot of pressure being applied on both ends, too. I mean, obviously in the ride, Texas State having a couple problems connecting passes on their own, but look at TCU out here flying around. They got 3 down right now, and their attackmen are getting after these guys.
It's a big play there by Jake Hamilton. J-Ham winning that ground ball off the inline. State with a successful clear.
Dude, Saxon has gotten bigger since the last game we called together, I think. TCU has some large humans playing midfield right now.
Right. Yeah, they're big. They're big. You've got Miller down at attack. He's huge.
Right.
Connor Hoke is a thick body. That kid had a day yesterday against SMU. Dodge down the lefty alley. Find Wynn on the corner. Wynn with the jumper. Brian Wynn assisted by a man to remain nameless, number 14. That's a big number for me. I wore that jersey at Texas State. Wish I knew that kid's name. 1-0 Texas State early. The Texas State faithful, they travel well, always have. Shout out to the Texas State fans. Know a lot of them really well.
It's a little bit savage. They don't have our guy on here.
Yeah, that was an issue yesterday with SMU. Actually, same number, believe it or not, number 14. Maybe that one's just not being recognized by
They're just paying homage to you, maybe.
the MCLA website. I'm not sure what's going on. Texas State with another face-off win. Get it down to win early. He's back up over the top.
Just to fill everybody in at home, this is actually Grant Pope here catching the ball of the man to be named list for now, but not anymore.
Okay. Grant
Sophomore.
Pope. Grant Pope. I'm down with Grant Pope. I'm all right with him wearing that number. I think before him it was A.J. Anderson and Cage. Kid was a baller. Do you know who wore it before A.J.? It's a tough one. I'm not sure either. Oh, my goodness. That was ridiculous.
Win again.
That was Dylan Hanner, who's slow to get up right now. He got underneath and then just threw this ridiculous underhand flip to the back pipe. That's Win with his second. Hanner is down. He's not moving a whole lot. Hopefully he's all right. 2-0 early here. Did you catch that goal? Because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, usually you see a little lefty attackman action getting all those nice little backside dunks, but Brian Wynn has found himself kind of in that righty pinch spot, putting that thing away, getting the goalie reaching as he's coming across the cage. As a lefty, that's got to be a little bit tougher. He beat him near side, if I remember correctly. So to get from one pipe to another with you being a lefty, it's asking a lot.
Yeah, you've got roughly zero chance. I mean, Hanner has literally fed that ball where he remains on the ground here, so goalie really has no chance if that pass gets connected. Texas State. This is, again, Dylan Hanner on the ground. He's moving a little bit. Trainers are out tending to him, just making sure that he's all right. One storyline that I'm interested to see play out in this game today is the absence of William Creedon at the face-off X for TCU. This guy was dominant yesterday. He's been dominant all season long in this league. He went out with, I believe it was a hand or an arm injury sometime early in the fourth quarter against SMU yesterday. So, you know, I think that they have Dan Doyle taking some faces for them as well. Hanner's up under his own power and leaving the field. It's great to see that. 2-0 Texas State. 10:40 left here in the first quarter in Fort Worth. Overcast, but not too chilly. Yesterday was freezing, man. It was like 35. The wind was blowing. It was not very comfortable out here.
Yeah.
And both those teams, I think it affected them. It was kind of a sloppy game, which is to be expected in conditions like that.
Yeah, I had a nice little time coaching a little 7th, 8th grade game. It's this kind of little weird weather here where it's just a little bit of moisture. It's not raining.
Right.
But it's there.
Yeah. You can feel it. Chew on it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. So there was a flag on that play, believe it or not.
Alex Gaskell here on the near side getting some LSM runs. Very capable offensive player for Texas State as well. They're pursuing. Texas State just flying around, swarming everything off of loose balls. It's Steven Alexander that comes up with that, Lucy.
Timeout by the Bobcats. Coach Kremen wants to talk it over.
I like it. I like it. You got a 2-goal lead. You know, important possession here. You've got Hanner down. He had to leave the field because of injury. If he's all right, maybe he wants to get him back on the field now. But if you can draw something up, you know, you can go up 3 goals early in this contest. Texas State, no stranger to jumping out early on teams. I believe they jumped up 6-1 on the University of Texas last Thursday night before ultimately dropping that game. They've had some issues finishing contests, whistle to whistle, but that's kind of to be expected given the way that their season has gone. They had a coaching change about midway through, so they're just now kind of starting to come together. Every game that they've lost, they've been in, and oftentimes up. So they're just trying to round into form before the LSA playoffs get going. They'll be the 4th out of the South Division with the loss to A&M, Texas, and LSU. So they'll take on OU, I think, in the quarterfinal matchup. Is that right?
Love seeing these defensemen from TCU. Everyone's stick is up. Everyone's clogging passing lanes. Saw a couple guys switching hands in there, which really, decreases kind of those areas that offensive guys can get comfortable looking at. And here we've got Nunez.
Nunez, long-haired, don't care. Unfortunate turnover there. The clearing adventure continues for TCU. Texas State Ride really having an impact right now on the game. Really don't want to give up too many second chance opportunities to this Bobcat unit. Texas State in all black today. Brian Wynn trying to get his third, his Hattie in the first trick, just rings that one off the top bar. Wynn doing a great job finding space off ball.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really operating, trying to find, great offensive players are going to find ways to work without the ball. Wynn's doing that right now, and he's getting paid for it, helping out his team.
Texas State going with a little 3-man cycle here on the ball side. And just finding the wheel look on man up. They carry. This is Shifty. Shifty Jacob Martin. Wynn tries to throw a through pass to the shooting corner. It sails on him.
Great hold for TCU there.
Right, big stop. Big stop there. Man down 2 goals in the first quarter. They needed that. Joe Boyce, this kid can scoot. He had a great game yesterday against SMU as well. There's Fogarty. Fogarty comes down, sends it off the pipe, bounces up to Boyce. Boyce moves it up to Miller. Miller with the short stick matchup up top. This isn't good if you're Texas State. Hard alley dodge. Gonna want to get one to that.
Ooh, Miller.
Miller gets under, but Tree Hayes is up to task. Texas State goalie. Another penalty coming here on TCU, so free play for Texas State. Jacob Martin with the ball at the midfield early. Texas State's a team that they're really trying to change their identity a little bit. Under the previous coaching staff, saw them running quite a bit, playing pretty fast and loose on both ends. Coach Crimmins playing a much more possession-based offense. You see them communicating and really getting on the same page. Good take there. That's Grant Pope. Gets under and then just kind of sails it. But Texas State going uppers again on Andrew Miller penalty for TCU.
Yeah, if I'm TCU, next time I get this ball on the offensive side of the field, I am getting it through X and I am possessing that thing. These guys were, clock says 7:29. They haven't even played offense yet.
No.
Obviously Miller had the shorty early, so you want to get after that matchup, but
yeah, you got to go at that. You'd just like to see him finish that opportunity. Texas State moving the ball really well. DC, Dylan Lemon. Pardon my casualness with some of these players' names. I coached a lot of them a couple years back, so nicknames are going to come out sometimes. Texas State man up. They look to wheel carry off the crease. Back to the shooting corner. They got the one more.
Going to be.
Yeah, Wynn's just like, oh gosh, please move it one more. Brian Wynn, he's about, 7'5"? Is that official?
I've heard he's 10 feet tall.
Yeah, but he's a big body. He can sling the ball hard. His range really doesn't have an end. That's Dylan Lemon finding Elliott Smith, who tries to get under and fake and finish. Big save there by Cummins. Got guys all over the place. Shifty throws one inside. And we're back to 6-on-6. Another successful penalty kill for the Horned Frogs. Nice pick up top there. Get the adjacent slide. It's Dylan Lemon to Jacob Martin, and just like that, it is 3-0. Texas State's up early.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Purcell, I'm just telling my guys, hey, let's get this face off. Let's settle it down. Haven't gotten a chance to play much offense, so, we'd really like to see, or I think he would like to see his guys kind of settle it down a little bit because they're right in this game. They say lacrosse is a game of runs. Texas try to find theirs.
Texas State went on theirs, that's for sure. One thing we saw TCU do late as they were down against SMU was go to the invert. And while they didn't finish their opportunities, they were definitely able to get steps at X. Ball gets stuck in the back of TCU's stick. No call, and then a loose push called on the Bobcats. TCU's ready for a quick restart. See what they can do here on the first offensive possession. See if they can have an extended one. John Ellis carrying lefty, rolls back up over the top to Saxon. Saxon splits back to the middle. Tommy Moriarty on ball, playing great short stick defense. This is Pope out and running. It's 4-on-4. Let's see if they attack in this. They kind of test it and then get their subs on. Again, Texas State just enjoying their possessions. Totally cool with just balancing the field, getting everyone on the same page. TCU not really applying a ton of pressure early in these possessions. Another interesting storyline to see play out is TCU played a game yesterday, a tough one in the elements against SMU. 2-goal battle. It was close all the way until the end. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're fatigued at all. Thibaut Desidier over to, who is that, Trevor Hensley?
Yeah, that's going to be Hensley.
Hensley with the through look to the back pipe, kind of a force off his back foot, guy on his hands. Jacob Martin does a good job just corralling that. Jacob Martin's got a short stick matchup. This is not something you'd like to see if you are playing the Bobcats and you're on defense. He is shifty. They don't give him that they didn't give him that nickname for nothing. Splits a double, gets top side. Ball just kind of squirts out of his stick. Off a shot.
Interesting. Still a shot. Jake Hamilton thinks it's still a shot. He's certainly not wrong in that assessment. I do believe it was a shot.
Yeah, near as I can tell, that was a shot. But, they may have seen it different. If the ball gets redirected, if they feel like the ball has been redirected after a shot, now it becomes a live ball. So it did touch a Texas State player's stick. Looked like he had a chance at the ground ball, so that may have been the ref's interpretation. And you can't really argue with judgment calls, Yeah. You're not going to be able to change them. There's really no winning that. That's Jake Hamilton doing a good job on ball. Here's Grant Pope making a high approach to Fogarty over to Boyce. Boyce is going to take this alley. They initiate from this alley a lot with Boyce. He just pushes that one wide of the cage. Here's Hoke on the restart, the big body. Good chance for a double. Looks like J-Ham stalking. He goes. Great slide. Just hit the outside back piece of the net there.
Hoke's going to want to make sure to dodge with his head up. Looks like Texas State was willing to go a little bit early. And want to make sure he's timing up and changing up his moves. Hamilton and Beatty going at it in the low post here. Beatty able to collect it back up.
Over to Boyce. Boyce on Desidier. Thibaut Desidier probably He's got to be first name, all name team in the MCLA. Tebow Desidier. Oh, that's a good take there by Pope. Just leans in, is able to get a step, and then shoots a righty low to high ripper, crease crank from roughly 2 yards. But TCU breaks the goose egg 3-1. Texas State's way. 2:41 left in the first quarter. Where'd you see the breakdown there on defense, Coach?
You know, honestly, pretty sound defense. I think they just, and it pains me to say this, but I think they just got hoked.
Right. They got hoked. I like it. They got hoked.
I kind of feel a little bit cheesy, but I feel like someone's got to do it, you know?
It's got to happen.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. I have called so many TCU games this season, and I can't believe I didn't come up with that. Back to the face-off X here. It's a 50-50 ground ball. Scrum ensues, squirting towards the Texas State offensive box. Ball's on the ground, still on the ground. Gaskell moves it out to the wing with a little hockey. Here's Wynn. Wynn just boxing out. Still trying to come up with it. Ball's here on the near side, right in front of the table. Nunez comes out with it. Get it to Beatty. Beatty gets dumped. All shooters got to go. This game is heating up from a physicality standpoint. Delayed penalty coming here on Texas State. That's Reed Lewis. Steps down. Shoots one low and away on Tree Hayes, and he sends it away. Texas State comes up with it, and first man up opportunity for the Horned Frogs today. These teams are competing hard. I don't think that there's really a lot of love lost here between these two programs. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in the LSA in general, there's really no gimmies. You know, a lot of quality programs. These guys, at least historically, I mean, Texas State gotten the better of TCU quite a few times in the recent future. Last year, TCU came to Texas State, I think the day after playing OU in a tight one, and just absolutely gave it to Texas State on the chin. I think it was something like 15-16.
Not close.
No, it wasn't close.
Not close.
TCU, I mean, setting up on offense here. They're looking to work out of this 1-4-1 set.
Oh, that's Staff. Caleb Staff stepping down. Beatty finds him.
Low to high.
Low to high ripper. Low to high ripper. It's a good shot. 3-2. You called it. Game of runs. Texas State went on theirs early. Went on a 3-goal run. And then TCU currently on a 2-goal run of their own. Good response by the Horned Frogs. Looks like they've woken up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely getting some bodies flying around. That definitely gets, you know, getting the pads loose, gets guys going. Makes you kind of get that little reality check. We're here now. Let's get it going.
Yeah, we've seen some contact now. Got the blood flowing. And I expect this to be a very contentious matchup by the end of the day. These two teams, as you mentioned, have just had some incredible games in the past 5 seasons or so. This is Boyce. Boyce going early, finds Beatty. Beatty's in. That's one Beatty would like to have back. He just pushed it wide of that near side pipe.
Here's Miller.
Miller likes to initiate off of these end lines.
He's going.
Yeah, he's going. Double comes. Gets back to the middle, tries to reach for angle. That's a good idea there to finish. This is big number 5, Dylan Young, trying to clear the ball himself. He needs help from these Texas State attackmen. They need to be involved in these ground balls in their half. Jaham jumps. Fogarty here at the midfield. Get a switch there off of the pick.
30 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Stops and possessions. These are the kind of plays that can really define how your team goes forward. And we got a broken stick. Got to come off the field.
15 left on the clock.
Texas State playing with
Hope's going to the cage. He's going. Got to read that body language. Send one. They do. Try to find Saxon out of the box. Leaks off the top of his stick. And that's going to end the first quarter of play here in Fort Worth. Texas State up 3-2 on the hosting Horned Frogs. pretty great game so far. Started out pretty frenetic, up and down, sloppy, not really completing a ton of passes on either side. State was able to go up early, 3-0, just in part because of their effort in the ride, right? They made it very tough on TCU clearing the ball. They had a lot of second chance opportunities, and then TCU got that one from Hoke off a dodge at X, and then they were fortunate enough to go man up, and then they buried their first man up opportunity. So TCU's 1 for 1 on the uppers on the day, and Texas State's 0 for 2.
You think Coach Crimmins over there just eyeing the refs every time they pick up a stick from now on throughout the season? Or do you think his guys have gotten it dialed?
From a stick check perspective, you mean? Making sure your stick doesn't get checked, and if you do get checked, it's all legal? Yeah, I think that's a tough lesson to learn. Against LSU, they had Coach Eccles and LSU staff called a stick check on Texas State's faceoff guy on the opening whistle. They went down 3 minutes, non-releasable, went down 8-1, came back, and kept it within 1 on the road down in Baton Rouge. But like I mentioned earlier, I mean, they've been in every game. They were up 6 on A&M, who's very good, at the half. They were up 6-1 on UT, who's obviously a very quality program. They were within 1 of LSU. They just haven't been able to really put it all together. It looks like Hanner's over there walking around on the Texas State sideline. We've got Spencer Savoy here near side playing LSM. Looks like Spencer's grown.
Interesting little, arena football run-up on the wing there.
I'm a big fan of the run-up on wings. If you can time the whistle, you're moving faster than he is at the start.
Yeah, I think that's, I'm going to check your math on that, but I think you're probably going to be faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Elliott Smith lining up Boyce up top. This is 2 great athletes going at it. Elliott's in. Elliott Smith. They just go with that stack look, walk it up over the top, pop one, fade the other, make it tough to dodge through. That's a big goal for Texas State. Good response there by the Bobcats. 4-2, 33 seconds into the second quarter to put an end to the 2-goal run from TCU.
I am so excited to watch the rest of this lacrosse game.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. There's no doubt about it. Savoy trying to get his run up, and he does get a step. I mean, every time he's getting a step, so if that ball comes to him. Now, obviously, it can be a little more difficult and can cost you if you end up stepping over the midfield. I think that's going to be the second. That's going to be the second violation on the faceoff on Texas State. TCU player is down off a big hit there by William Rossi. Rossi comes out of the box, doesn't see, ball carrier does not see him coming, and just really ran right through his chest. I think this is probably going to be like an unnecessary roughness call. Just a big hit, and they're really taking a lot of the violence and the big hits out of the game. That's a hit I feel like you got to take. It's there. He doesn't see you. It seems like it's from the front. I don't know if he got him high, but it was certainly a hard hit.
Yeah. They're competing out here. That's for sure. Hope that guy's all right. That's number 25. Is that Doyle?
That's Doyle, the face-off man.
So that's going to be interesting. Hope he's all right. That would be...
Yeah, he's fine. He hopped up. He's over on the bench. I think he probably got his the wind knocked out. Didn't look like it was in the head, so, hope he doesn't have a concussion from maybe hitting the ground, but looked like it was just a big body hit to me. I'm all right with that call. That's pretty consistent these days. You got to understand that if you're going to take that hit, you're probably going to take a penalty.
TCU uppers doing a good job of changing in between sets right now. They're going from a 1-3-2 into an open set. kind of seeing what Texas State will do, pulling out that crease guy and then replacing with another guy. Very, very sneaky.
Very sneaky, very sneaky. That was Beatty with the shot. Had a good look at it. Missed it. Beatty's been great for Horned Frogs all season. Alum of the Woodlands program, freshman here. Big step down shot from Fogarty. Tries to go near side corner. Just a bit outside.
Skip lanes are starting to open up for TCU on this man upset.
Yeah, here they're going to go 1-4-1. They'll get it up to Staff. He'll likely carry, pull one off the crease, and then look to seal for the backside shooting corner. But they never get to that piece of their progression in this set. Texas State does a good job of just mixing it up. That's Jacob Hamilton putting the ball on the ground.
So, Coach, let me ask you your take on this. You're running a 1-4. If you're pulling someone off the crease, do you see a lot of defenses, I should say, TCU getting some great on-ball pressure on Tree Hayes right here, starting to get some pressure in their own ride, 3 men down.
What a look by Jacob Hamilton to find Blake Taylor. He's stepping in. He's dangerous from here. Win trying still elusive hat trick for the kid so far.
That's when being lefty helps out.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Went through his hand and then just really didn't give the goalie an opportunity to be faked after he threw the fake. Like to see him fake, maybe hesitate, and then stick it where he's not. He just kind of threw his hands and chunked it on Cage and come and saw it all the way. Another good ride here by Texas State. Jacob Martin trying to find Dylan Lemon in transition. This is Hunnewell, and he's trying to clear the ball. Great effort there by Elliott Smith to get to his stick and put the ball out of bounds. Oh, Elliott Smith splits the double here at midfield. Good job by the TCU attackman, right in hard. These guys are competing. It's only a matter of time until one of them comes through our table here on the side of the field, but I'm prepared for it.
We're living pretty dangerously over here.
Yeah.
I think the only person closer than us is Logan McCullough right now. He is straddling that line down there.
Logman, he's a Texas State alum, also one of our many personalities here on Stickstar Productions. He's been on the call. He'll be down in Austin with the big man, Anthony Crimmins. Shout out to Crem making this possible. Birthday kid yesterday.
Gonna say.
I think Crem's like 42 now, so.
That Ronnie Lott year.
Yeah.
Except not even close, I don't think. He's gonna be upset. I think that's fake news.
Yeah, that's definitely fake news. That's definitely fake news. He's got to be 35, I think. 35 sounds right. Maybe 36.
KD year sounds right.
I'm close. That's Texas State dodging hard off the end line. Good pick action in the crease.
Starting to get going.
Starting to get going.
In a row.
Not a kid you want to warm up. You know, you don't want to get that goalie warm. Texas State in this high zone ride here. I like it. Just bumping here at the midfield, clogging everything up from wing line to wing line. Got a 10-second count now. Fogarty does a good job stepping in the box. That's probably a quality timeout there by Coach Purcell. They're down 4-2. Haven't scored yet in this quarter. They're about, I don't know, my math's not very good. But they're 6-7 minutes into this second quarter. And probably a good time to get a quality possession.
Yeah. I think your math is probably all right. We just got to look over at that clock and see that there's, it says 10:48 over there, 10:47.
It's foggy, man. It's foggy. Stick checks happening here during the timeout. Again, TCU, shout out to the Laundry folks. They played yesterday in these home whites, and they're looking clean today. Texas State going with the porthole mesh and microsuede hybrid look. Old school mesh, can't really tell, but it breathes really nicely. Those are made by Stickstar Apparel. If you're interested in outfitting your team, give us a shot. Let us bid.
Nice little shameless plug there.
Got to K Saunders, SAUNDERS, at stickstarlacrosse.com. I want to sell you uniforms, and we will save you money.
Would love
Texas,
to get TCU involved in that.
I know. Texas State.
Purple
Texas
and black's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I like that.
We can make it look good. There's no
Ravens,
doubt about
baby.
that. Texas State's looking good in these all blacks. They've got a couple different kits that they're throwing down.
I think Coach Purcell's got dialed up here out of the timeout, Coach. We
He's
got
going to
a
pick
1-3-2.
up top. Boyce is definitely going to take this righty alley. They'll exchange on the backside, follow over the top. Staff's got the ball up top on Jaham. There's a flag down. So TCU, free play here. If they can get one and then get an and one, would be a pretty good opportunity.
TCU's noticing that Texas State's going early with their slides, starting to get that nice little shallow cut, pull pass it back to that man.
Yeah, that's a tough one to cover. You got to be ready to go to that if you're Texas State. How do you play that, Coach? What are your options to play that?
Oh, I would probably go with the first of two options, and that would be if my guy's clearing through as the adjacent man as they set up this offensive set here. Again, skip lane's about to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Beatty's just creeping, has his stick up. Come on, give me it on this lefty shooting corner. They pull off the crease. Look to wheel this side. Now Fogarty going to seal down.
Ooh. Texas State steals a backup. Hoke's going to want that one back.
Yeah, they're going to want that back. If he makes the one more, they got Miller just wide open on this shooting corner on this backside seal. Looks like he might be moving a little bit on the backside seal, but it's tough to find if you're in stripes on a man-up situation. We got Hanner back on the field. He was down, the Texas State attackman who was down for an extended period of time on an injury. Had to come off. Looks like there's an offsides call on Texas State, or maybe too many men, not real sure. Long clearing pass. Jacob Martin does a good job breaking on the ball in the air. This is Gaskell coming up with it. Again, we're on the near side. Nice little flip to escape that pressure by Alex Gaskell. And Texas State's out and running. Here's Hensley stepping down lefty. He's in. Gets trail checked. Ball leaks through. Dylan Lemon battling for it in the corner. Hensley gets his own rebound. These guys are getting after it. Here's DC. Dylan Lemon.
Jacob Martin, sorry to cut you off, just hanging out in the shooter spot, waiting for DC to find him.
Yeah, they have a really good, this attack unit for Texas State is tremendous. They've played together now for 3-4 seasons. As freshmen, they got a lot of burn together. Had the big man, skinny Rick on the field. Oh my goodness. Big bucket there by Dylan Lemon. Gets underneath, rolls back, kind of a reverse question mark upfield. Five-two. 5-2, we're back. Sorry, got unplugged there. 5-2, Dylan Lemon with the big goal. Reverse question mark, gets upfield, bangs it, back pipe. 5-2, it's an and one here, so off of this face-off, Texas State's going to be man up. This could be a big swing if they're able to get one man up. I think it's a slash on TCU's, I'm not sure if that's Saxon. Yeah, or Staff. Looks like that's Staff. They're both so big, it's hard to tell them apart if you can't see their number. Texas State going with this. Nice pick up top. They'll look to step down on the backside. They follow. Here's Wynn stepping down. Doesn't have his hands. Swings it to Elliott. Elliott Smith. Wind up, toe drag. And then bounces one wide. Slick move there by Elliott Smith.
Texas State players starting to get a little bit loose, it looks like. Starting to throw in a couple more things into their game. Making it a little bit more dynamic.
Trying to run that little three-man wheel Ball side, TCU does a good job making their first rotation and shutting down their back to the wheel. Hanner.
Welcome back to the game, Dylan Hanner.
Hanner back on the field. The big number 30 is down and out for almost a quarter of play, if not more. And just like that, another 2-goal run for Texas State. They're up 6-2. 6-2, 7:23 left in the first half of play. Like you said, Texas State offensive guys starting to get loose. They're feeling it a little bit, starting to play with a little bit of swagger.
It certainly doesn't feel like a 6-2 game.
No.
Feels like a 6-5. Feels like
second face-off violation here on the Bobcats.
It's actually 3. They're about to confirm it right now.
TCU thinks it's 3. You think it's 3. I am undecided on this. Logan McCullough down there letting the refs know he thinks it's 2. The refs decide it's 2.
And you got Jacob Hamilton and Logan McCullough yelling to the refs, trying to give some tips on if a call was good or not, and they're saying that the guys are doing a great job. Yeah, no, I'll let you do the math there.
I think that was Jay Ham. I may have given false credit to Logan on that ref chirp.
A lot of finesse.
There's Staff trying to go on Hensley. Hensley dispossesses him. I love this kid's game. I'm sorry, that's Grant Pope. Check that. My fault. I love this kid's game.
Both sophomores this year out of Houston, Texas. Other sides of Houston, Pope from Magnolia and Hensley from Clear Lake. But, you know, both these little guys can scoot and both complement each other pretty well with the lefty-righty difference, Pope being the lefty.
Very similar in build. Here's Pope stepping down lefty. Pope, an attackman in high school for Magnolia, scored a ton of buckets. Texas State was pumped to get him, and with this senior attack unit, it just makes sense to make sure that kid gets on the field.
Pollock trying to get his day going.
Noah Pollock out of Cedar Park High School. His younger brother is senior this year. Can shoot the cover off the ball. He's headed to Jacksonville. Was an early commit before the NCAA made the change to put the Knicks on all of that action. Ball goes out of bounds. I thought it was tipped by the Texas State defenseman, but ref had a better view of it. Now here's Hensley scooting, clearing it himself. There's some serious speed at the midfield. This is Alex Gaskell.
Swapped his pole for a shorty, taking some offensive midfield runs.
Jacob Martin out in space here on Honeywell, I believe. Nope, Ethan Phillips. Apologies. Martin finds Hensley. Nice ball side cut. Fakes and then reaches and shoots it from way above his head. That's a great finish there. Texas State on another 3-goal run. They're up 7-2. Big Blake Taylor blocking the scoreboard from my vantage point, but I believe it's 5:18 left in the first half. Spencer Savoy on the near side getting that running start. Stepped over last time, didn't time it well.
I like this matchup for these two LSMs, both high energy guys.
Yeah, Nunez is a difference maker between the box. There's Hanner, ball squirts to him, and the offensive zone comes up with it, and then he just finds himself in a tough spot. Goes on the ground. Oh, 2-on-1 here. Had Martin in the crease. Defenseman gets his stick in that passing lane, puts it on the ground. Blake Taylor comes out of a pile with it, moves it back to Dylan Lemon, and they're just going to say, hey, let's chill out. Noah Pollock out of the box. He's got a short stick out here in space. He's wanting Desidier to come work with him. See, they're going to just go ahead and clear through. Let Desidier go to work. Desidier, younger, way bigger brother of Texas State legend Bucky Desidier. Shout out to Buck. Buck was honorable mention All-American at Texas State at least once, maybe twice. Very dominant offensive player in the 2015 championship run, and 2016 runner-up run. Shout out to you, Bucky, if you're out there listening.
Late in the game, these extended clears are really going to add up physically when you're grinding out these possessions like this on the defensive end and then having to clear the ball out for 30 seconds total end to end. Makes it tough.
Yeah, Texas State doing a really good job. Once again, they've gotten organized in their ride. Looks like they made an adjustment. UT came with a great adjustment to this little zone ride at midfield. They sent a midi opposite box and deep, right? So all the way into the defensive zone or for Texas State, and they were just consistently able to step one over into that area on the opposite box side on the wing. Texas State slow to make that adjustment, but they have since. They've started moving their backline and defensemen up to fill out that zone, so that becomes a little tougher of an adjustment to make.
Yeah, speaking of zones and adjustments, do you think Coach Purcell calls a timeout to talk it over? Do you think Coach Kremen maybe tries to put one back at him and go zone here for a little bit, maybe change the matchup? I mean, they've been doing well in man.
Yeah,
what do you think on that?
We've certainly seen Texas State throw down the zone. I believe they're calling it 2 chains. Texas State with, there's some tradition and some plays and name calling and some tendencies. But looks like their man coming out of this timeout. I think Coach Kremen was like, we're fine, right? Like, they're not creating a ton of offense on us. So I also think
now
that
you got Beatty on a shorty at X.
TCU's got some good shooting. Now it looks like they may be, right?
Yeah, I'm probably getting a nice little zone and designated the hot slide. Beatty gets back under, goes for the backhanded shot. Tree Hayes able to make the stop.
Yeah, the backhanded shovel is a nice way to score when you finish it. That's a shot. Both teams just working really hard to win the chase back. Luke Taylor ultimately, his hustle pays off. Hamilton's going to pick up the ball here on the near side. They hang the shorty low, and they're just going to carry this out. It's Dylan Young, midfielder out of Cypress Woods High School down in Houston. Texas State University drawing a huge portion of their student body from the greater Houston metropolitan area. Tons of great Houston players on these rosters over the year. TCU is a little bit more diverse in their roster and their student body. If you go down hometowns for Texas State, I mean, it's Texas, Colorado. 2 guys from Colorado, and TCU's got like 10 or 11 different states represented on their roster. So a little bit different. TCU looks like they're bringing more bodies to the fight today. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to play all of them. I haven't seen Reed Lewis on the field a whole lot, but he gets more offensive runs, not really used in a defensive midi capacity. So, if TCU can get some more offensive possessions, we may see Lewis and a couple others on the field a little bit more for TCU. Let's see what Texas State comes up with out of this timeout. How'd your conference with Mr. Fitzsimmons go there?
TCU's going into a zone right now. Shorties on the outside. They're probably going to try to funnel the shorties into 22 there in the middle zone. Interesting way to go at this is to figure out what their rotation rules are.
Yeah, they carry. They've definitely got The thing about the offense that Texas State's running is, it's effective against both man and zone. It's predicated on moving bodies, hard carries, picks, ball side cuts. You notice they're moving a lot. Gonna dodge, draw a slide. Jacob Martin, defenseman, gets his stick on that. Finds Elliott Smith inside. He's got to get that out of his stick.
Yeah, that's
definitely
called a bear trap.
Tough place to catch the ball, no doubt. Tough feed, but he got it in his stick. He should have just thrown that thing on cage or kicked it right back out for a little wall pass action.
Yeah. See what the rotation rules are. We push the corner, get a guy to step down. See, because once you've drawn him into a rotation, a lot of people have trouble. They say, you can't dodge a zone. Sure you can. Just get him into a rotation and dodge the shorties.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of dodging zones. I'd like to see most teams aren't expecting it, and so sometimes even if they have rules for it, players typically just kind of expect offensive guys to not really dodge against the zone. That's DC dodging against the zone. Sticks are up for Texas State. They are up looking for passes. That's Jacob Martin. Leans in, gets a step, and then splits a double, sends one wide. Again, Dylan Lemon dodging off of this. Not a bad adjustment by Coach Purcell, though, and it works. It pays off.
Yeah, it pays off.
Again, Texas State moving quite a bit. Had some scoring opportunities there, but I would say they were marginal at best. Texas State's got some big-time shooters from the outside. TCU's going to start to give up some of those shots in a zone and trust their goalie. But the Bobcats definitely have some zone busters, so if they can get some big, heavy step downs, I wouldn't be afraid to take it and test their goalie, Texas State, long ball to Spencer Savoy. Savoy, very skilled. Both hands. It's a lefty over the shoulder catch from about 45 yards on the run. 10 seconds left here in the first half of play. Elliott Smith with the short stick on the near side, leans in. Little lever pass up top to Hanner. Hanner takes a lefty on the run as the clock winds down. That's going to bring the first half of play to a close. Texas State visiting from San Marcos, up 7-2 on the hosting TCU Horned Frogs. That's going to bring the half to a close. We'll be right back after the intermission.
goal inside.
Yeah, the mission of the TCU lacrosse team is to provide a strong and balanced college experience in the areas of academics, athletics, and the social side.
Being a student athlete for TCU is a really awesome opportunity. Not a lot of people get to say that they're a student athlete, especially for a big college like TCU. We like to say that we're Division I athletes. We're not really. We're just club. But it still gives you the team feel, the team atmosphere, and you also get to compete for the name of TCU, which is really great.
This lacrosse team this year, I feel, is really special because of a lot of the team chemistry we have, and we have a lot of senior leaders this year. A lot of guys that are going to unfortunately be leaving us next year, but we also got a lot of young guys, a lot of young freshmen coming in that are picking up everything real fast, and just the team chemistry we've created is just awesome this year.
I can't speak for the first couple of years. I started playing my junior year, but over the last 2 years, we've grown in numbers. We've become more committed thanks to our dedicated coaching staff, and we've become much more skilled and have had a great deal of success in the LSA, and are looking to win our first LSA championship.
The program growth has been incredible. I've been with the team since 2004 as a player and a coach for 12 years now, and seeing it from where it was to where it is now is incredible. With 35-man roster and being able to run some full field scrimmages with our own team, to when I first started, no coach and maybe 12 guys out at practice. So it's awesome to see the growth and everybody rally behind all this and come out and support the team.
Our evolution has really gotten to the point where everybody knows what the expectations are, everybody knows what each other are doing on the field, and we're able to execute a little bit easier without having to call out plays from the sidelines.
I would describe this team as very fun, cohesive, and dedicated. Our numbers of practice this year have been outstanding compared to previous years, and as a whole, every time we step on the field, we have a lot of fun. We compete, and there's just a good sense of energy.
One of the most memorable lacrosse moments at TCU would definitely be kind of traveling on our way.
We're back to the Face-Off X, back to the game. Texas State, TCU here in Fort Worth, Texas. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead.
We got Reed Lewis and Elliott Smith here on the face-off wing. Who do you think's winning that battle, the tights or the full sweats by Reed Lewis? I think it's a pretty strong move. I think he's got NBA brand socks on right now.
I'm a big fan of the sweats.
Yeah.
Although, to be quite honest, it's not really that cold today if you're playing the game. I never like to play in sweats. I'm more of a big fan of goalie sweats, the three-quarter look. Goalie change here for Texas State. Tree Hayes had an excellent first half. Moose Winery, the Regis Jesuit out of Colorado goalie. He sees his first shot well. That was a step down there from about 14 for Saxon. Just tried to go stick side hip. Elliott Smith just faking his way out. Andrew Miller making it close. Ref here on the near side grabbed for his flag and then said, nah, it didn't really affect the play. And I'm not sure that he actually stepped over. I think that's probably a good no call.
That's why you got to wear white cleats.
White cleats is real. I never thought about it. You were the one that pointed that out to me, and I like it. I just thought they looked nice. Texas State with the stack look again. They carry the alley, pop the crease, fade another one. Gaskell with an ambitious shot down the alley. Doesn't draw a slide, but he's kind of running away from the cage. Jumper on the run.
Good shot location. Probably just need a little bit more juice on it.
Got to have some juice. Got to bring the juice. Texas State's brought the juice so far. It's 7-2. They're up 5. As you mentioned, though, in the first half, it doesn't feel like it's a 5-goal difference. TCU's been right there the whole way. This is Beatty going at Jacob Hamilton. Good job on ball.
Ooh,
great look from Beatty to Hoke. Hoke with the backside cut, handle it at his shoelace, and then bury it.
Nice little back cut. Caught the Texas State defense slipping right there a little bit at the start. Hoke active early.
Hoke, huge day yesterday against SMU for the Horned Frogs. He's a big body attackman. He does all of it. Not afraid to lean in and carry hard. Great distributor. Heady off-ball cutter. Good face-off battle here. Squirts out. Texas State comes up with it. Move it down to Win. Win wisely. Just going to secure this possession. Hanner comes out to help him. Good to see Hanner back on the field.
Yeah, both Hanner and Doyle. Doyle took that nice little hit in the second quarter. Both guys able to get back. Hanner took his in the first. Both guys able to get back on the field and hopefully make impacts. Hanner with 1 goal already since returning, so trying to make an impact here.
Yeah, Pope having a sweep here. Back up to Jacob Martin. He's got a shorty. Boyce really overplaying his left hand. Funny story about Jacob Martin is I thought he was a lefty, right? When he first came to the Texas State team, I'm like, man, we don't have a lefty. He's like, I'm a lefty. What he was really doing was getting himself on the field at attack. He was new to the program. Oh, that's Hanner getting underneath. New to the program. Just said, yeah, coach, I'm a lefty. So he played the lefty attack spot pretty much almost the whole season before the secret was out that, in fact, he was not. But he's confident with it. So,
yeah, I've been playing lefty attack for 3 years now. Probably got a little bit of it in his game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Up pick here from Wynn. Pope takes the alley. Good job. And they get the short stick switch. Are they back in the zone?
They're not. They started the second half in man. Wynn just trying to deposit into the crease, not necessarily an open guy there.
No, TCU doing a good job covering up. And then Texas State, again, just tenacious in this ride.
Second chance opportunities. They can make or break you, that's for sure.
Jacob Martin with another short stick, going to match up on Boyce here. Stutter step, draws the double. Pope just not ready to catch the ball there.
One nice little bit that Coach Cremen's been able to incorporate into the offense is getting some of his attackmen through the midfield. Got guys like Grant Pope, Jacob Martin.
It's a great take there by Pope.
And Trevor Hensley that are traditionally attackmen playing midfield roles really helps out when you're dodging and honestly when you're creating offense with that many brains on the field.
Yeah, any young players out there watching or parents of young players out there watching, don't get stuck thinking you are one position, right? Important to be able to play all of them because as you get into the higher levels of middle school and then high school, team needs change. And if you're willing to be flexible in your position and accept maybe a different role than what you have been playing, you're going to get on the field and have a lot more fun because you're on the field. That's a great take there by Martin. Big save there by Cummins. Good long extended possession here for Texas State. Generated a couple scoring opportunities. Had a turnover, but won it back in the ride. See if they can capitalize on TCU's failure to clear. Jacob Martin stutter stepping, gets a step, moves it up to Hensley far side, swings it to the point to Brian Wynn. He swings it one more. All the way back over to here to Hanner with the short stick on Boyce. Hanner stuttering, looks to swim, draws the double, try to split it, doesn't. Moves it. Moving screen call there on Jacob Martin. Probably a good call. Had his stick horizontal and outside of his body, so got to have that stick straight up and down in between your shoulders. Can't be moving at all. It's not the NBA. You have to be 100% set. Jacob Hamilton working hard for that chase. Isn't pumped that he doesn't get it. Beatty throws a skip look over the top to Fogarty, who's unable to corral that. This is Pollock with the clear. Big sky whammy.
Yeah, the thing, moving screens is a point of emphasis this year. I've heard a lot of refs have talked with a lot about that rule. You know, they want you to be set, but they're really, you know, cracking down on movement after being set. So that shift with the shoulders to the upper body, as we see Dylan Lemon getting to the middle, kind of cycling up the offense. Ball comes ajar for a minute. Pollock corrals it. Got to be careful. Hensley getting incredibly close to the midline. But, you know, you like that.
Ooh.
Sets up this really high dodge over the top for Blake Taylor, senior midfielder, coming bearing down the pipe. Looks to go back at it.
Great goal there by Blake Taylor. He carries all the way down to goal line extended, backs his way up. TCU defenseman just kind of got frozen off ball there. It would have been a great time to go and double, but he just shoots that short little bouncer underneath the crossbar, and Texas State up 8-3 here in the third quarter. Reed Lewis sweats her off. So now I'm going to say Reed wins this. You know, this tights matchup with Elliott.
Yeah, because he's got no tights.
Yeah.
But the GB.
Elliott Smith comes up with it. Up pick in the alley from Hanner. Carries the X. Looking to feed, nothing there. They just settle into another possession.
Something you alluded to a little bit earlier was getting to see this battle at the face-off X as Jacob Martin pushes the offense a little bit prematurely there. But we talked about, you know, the injury at the face-off X for TCU late yesterday.
Yeah, William Creedon, it's a big... They're missing him a lot. If you have a dominant face-off guy like that and you're used to winning it, that's Blake Taylor with another take, trying to get 2 in a row. Elliott Smith steps down and just hammers a lefty rocket off the crossbar. Flag down on a hold coming here. Smith with another lefty shoots it right into the... I don't know, did that go off the defenseman's leg? I'm not even sure where that thing went. But that was a laser that wasn't moving. Texas State going man up again. They're 0 for 2 on the day on uppers. See if they can get one here. If they do, they're stretching this to a 6-goal lead about midway through, just over midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, and we've talked on it a little bit, but these extended possessions for Texas State and TCU's failure to clear has really just lumped up this offensive possession time for State. Nice little seal and fade there for the big man, number 6, Brian Wynn. But, you know, you give teams a second chance opportunities, you get tired down, you start to fly around a little bit more, be less in control of your sticks. I think that play is kind of, you know, poster board for that. Guy gets tired, trying to make a nice poke check, gets a little bit out of control, and the guy dips through contact, turns into a flag, unfortunately.
Yeah, that 2-2-2 man up look, Texas State's been running that forever. Matt Malcolm, Texas State legend. I don't know if he's still the all-time points getter at Texas State. But he scored roughly 1 million goals on that look. It was called mustard at some point. Why? Well, because there was mustard, ketchup, and mayo back in the day on man up. That's just trying to figure out what to call plays and said, hey, let's go with condiments. So that's what we went with.
3 of my favorite foods. Number 1 being mayonnaise.
Gross. I'm a mustard guy. No mayonnaise. Potato salad? Only if it's mustard based.
Yeah, no, I like my mayonnaise plain.
Got it. By the spoonful?
That's right.
Girth doesn't come from nowhere, folks. The big body. Good. It seems like Texas State has had this ball for, I don't know, 8 minutes.
Is the 2-2-2 making a comeback? I know back during my career, TCU and this, Coach Purcell's predecessor, failing on a name here, but TCU used to run a nice little 2-2-2 action back in the 2011, 12, 13 range. It's hard to cover with that high-low crease. Not many people seeing it, so it's almost like not a rarity, but
it was really popular early to mid 90s, and then it kind of went dormant there for a while. And I think UNC's NCAA championship run, they went heavy with the 2-2-2 look. Coach Metzbauer, a offensive Jedi when it comes to coaching. Things getting contentious here. 2 flags down here on Texas State. J-Ham coming with the lift right underneath the chin. Doesn't understand the call. Not sure why, but that was a good call.
Yeah.
They're down 2 goals. J-Ham is a spirited competitor. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's tough. Got the stick. Unfortunately for him, he also got an entire amount of chin, which is very illegal. You cannot do that.
Can't do that.
Can't do that,
You're just not allowed to do that. So Texas State going 2 men down.
I think the refs have done a pretty great job calling this game.
All-world crew. Man, we had the Texas Legends referee crew yesterday for TCU. Listen to this lineup. Mr. Fitzsimmons, who's on the field today. Jay McCracken out of San Antonio, and Ivan Isaac. I mean, for any Texas lacrosse player, you know all those guys.
Right. Mainstays.
Yeah, they did a great job too.
That's awesome.
I think Mr. Isaac is handling some youth lacrosse in the area today, and Mr. McCracken said, I'm going to go back to the Alamo City. It's like, not sure what the call is here.
I think it's going to be a late hit in the corner there. I think Miller got after number 12, Luke Taylor, in the corner there off that last pass. Interesting thing, and we'll see if the refs will get it yet. TCU was offside in that last possession. They're still offside right now. It's going to be interesting to see if the refs get this one. Oh, they call him to get a guy on the field so they help him out. Although, if you start with only 2 on, I believe they'd let you get a guy on for the most part if that's like a subbing thing.
Unless it's a totally delayed substitution that gains an advantage.
Pretty egregious. Double opportunity here.
Splits the double. Now they're in. They got numbers. Looked through. Would have been a big goal. Poor Brian Wynn, man. Kid had the first 2 buckets of the game, and he's had like 4 scoring opportunities since. Just can't get his hattie. TCU again. Thought they were going to come double. TCU or Texas State penalties are released. Texas State now man up. 8-3, 3:35 left here in the third quarter.
Let's go!
A lot of fans lining the sidelines today, way more than we saw yesterday. Texas State faithful always travels really well. Dylan Lemon stepping in, didn't really get everything into it. Like to see him come up on his front toe and get through that shot. Kind of shot it off his back foot, left his shoulders open, sailed it over the cage. And we're back to even strength here.
And again, we have Jacob Martin against a shorty.
Yeah, he's going to take him down this corner and give him the old wiggle. Dancing a little bit, leans in, dodging physically, has his hands, goes lever pass. Dylan Lemon unable to corral that pass, just kind of skips off of his stick. A little bit high, tough to handle. Definitely want to have your stick up and ready there, though. I feel like that's something we see a lot of, at least I see a lot of with youth and high school players, is off ball having their sticks at their hips, so even good passes, they have to move their stick to catch the ball, and if it's high, then you're really having to almost make a save to handle it. Want to make sure that you're always ready to catch if you're on offense. Early turnover there by Texas State. Bryant Wynn motoring to get back to Nunez. Nunez has to swing the ball to Fogarty. Wynn's effort really paying off.
I think I could see my reflection in that ball when it came over here.
I like it. Typically not able to do that with a white piece of rubber, but it was so close. Looked like a new ball, so there's no grease on it. Elliott going two-man over there on the side with Pope. Gets doubled.
Texas State offense has gotten a little bit stagnant here in the last 5 minutes of play.
Yeah, they were really moving the ball well early, and then it just kind of seemed to everyone's trying to do it on their own now.
Yeah, get some action.
It's a good look. Elliott winds up, pauses, squares up, and then just shoots right around.
Nunez steals it back up.
Yeah, that's tough. The Hanner wasn't sure if Smith was going to shoot that or not, and he ended up pulling it. Wasn't really in position to win that chase.
Ooh,
dude, the effort that Brian Wynn is exerting in the ride is admirable.
That's what makes it work. You got to have attackmen that are hungry out there riding the ball.
You have to. You're an offensive player. As soon as you turn it over, you become a defensive player. Another great ride by Texas State. Here's Smith. He goes to flip it and then looks to get hit and then just goes truck stick over the TCU defenseman coming to hit him. Great hustle play on the far side there by Blake Taylor. I mean, the effort with which these teams are playing is awesome. This is what it's all about, folks. Guys flying around, playing for each other, selling out for balls.
20 seconds left in the quarter here. TCU trying to get something going. Beatty sneaking from X, but Jake Hamilton gets his stick on the ball. And now we're going the other way.
10 seconds.
Taylor, 10 seconds left. Pushing the break. Not the time to slow down, young fella. I'm not sure he understands the clock at the moment.
State calls timeout there with 2 seconds left on the clock. Tough timeout call. I'm not sure anyone really understood the clock situation there. That was an exciting couple minutes of lacrosse. People flying around, making plays, getting physical.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting one because, I mean, assuming TCU gets its up here with 2 seconds left, pretty tough to call a play and get something going that early, but, you know, maybe scream some sort. But I would assume TCU comes out of this. I mean, 5-goal lead in a quarter is very, very easy to come back on.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would use the term easy,
not easy,
but doable, right?
Doable.
It is certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. Harvard did it down 6 with 2 minutes left and won in overtime just a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon. Now, the face-off battle makes it a little bit tougher. TCU's been down before. They've clawed back. Haven't seen them go to the invert at all today like they did yesterday late against SMU. That's something I would look for moving into the fourth quarter. But, you know, if it's my guys, what you're talking about is there's no 5-goal play, right? And so it starts with stops on defense and then ground balls, clears, and possessions. And then ultimately you got to obviously finish any scoring opportunities you're able to generate, but one play at a time, and those plays stack up.
It's interesting that they got the ball starting all the way up here. I think they're going to end up moving it down. I mean, call the timeout when he's in the box. I think they'd get to stop there.
Jacob Martin just holds the ball, lets 2 seconds run off the clock.
It's an interesting little play.
8-3 here going into the fourth quarter, Texas State up on the hosting TCU Horned Frogs. TCU on a back-to-back stretch here. Never easy to play 2 games in 2 days. But I will say it's good training, right? If you're trying to win a Lone Star Alliance championship, which everyone is, right? To get to Final Four weekend and ultimately get that done, you've got to play a semifinal game on Saturday. Typically it is warm, right, and late April. And then turn around and you play at like noon or 1 the next day. So, you know, in order to win the LSA championship, you got to play back-to-back days. That's just how it is. So TCU's got to dig deep here. And, you know, like I said, just come up with 1 play at a time. And if they do that, then they'll have a chance to get back in it. Now, if you're Texas State, what are you talking about with the 5-goal lead headed in the fourth?
Well, I got one word for it, and one word only. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo. Tranquilo.
Telling my guys, let's be easy right now. Let's take a breath. Right? We got a nice little nest egg, nice little 5-goal lead here. Let's be patient with our offensive possessions. Defensively, right, let's play good posture on ball and off ball. Slide, rotate, and recover. Played sound defense. Possess in the clear. You know, all the great stuff. All the nice little hallmark pieces to, you know, to what you want your guys doing day in and day out.
And stay out of the penalty box, right?
Big one.
You're up 5 goals. Do not give them man-up opportunities. You don't want to do that. That extends how long your defense is on the field. Obviously gives them great scoring opportunities with extra men. But staying out of the penalty box is crucial to protecting leads. Cradling the win baby, as we call it.
Texas State's face-off guy, Stevie. Having a great day.
Gaskell just casual out of the box and gets trail check. Stick goes on the ground, and fortunately Dylan Lemon saw that check coming and decided he was going to pursue the ball before it was ever on the ground. He comes up with it. Yeah, and I think, you know, the message from Coach Crummon in that timeout was just that, you know, patient with your offensive possessions. Early on there in this possession, Dylan Lemon had a ball at X, had Pope wide open in the middle of the crease, didn't throw it to him. You know, hey, we don't need that goal 10 seconds in. There's an illegal screen called on Texas State. That's another thing. Like, at this point, I'm not sure. Are they offsides?
No. Texas State?
No. TCU. I just can't count. Counting the wrong way.
People make that mistake counting the wrong way.
I always count forward, but I was looking there, and they were clearly 4 back, and I don't know. I just botched that. This is Fogarty. He takes him behind. Here's the invert that I alluded to at the break. They go ahead and get the pulse switched on the ball. Now they've got Hoke with the short stick matchup on Gaskell out here. Hoke gets to the middle. Little wrister on the run.
See, something interesting that's been developing in this game is, and we're talking about TCU possessing the ball, but they're getting these looks that are, you know, pretty good looks. I mean, Hoke gets a shorty. You want to take that top side, gets a good shot. Texas State giving them, you know, looks, and you got to go for those, some of these fast break looks, some of these slow break looks, but just not necessarily falling for TCU right now, which is tough because they're doing a lot of the right things and getting a lot of the good matchups that you want. You know, and that's something that I've definitely noticed with TCU all year. They are competing and they're in everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned it multiple times. It doesn't feel like a 5-goal margin. The game feels way closer than the scoreboard reflects. Here's Pollock out of the box scoring his guy up. Gets Staff to fall down. Staff, good job recovering. Pollock just carrying this alley. Move it to Wynn, who gets it through X to Dylan Lemon. Lemon kind of stutter stepping, just enjoying possession. Smart strategy here by Texas State, really taking their time. They may even be playing for shot clocks at this point. Jacob Hamilton down here, the captain, communicating to his offense, off-ball players, making sure they're moving, trying to get them going. This is Lemon. He gets in, goes behind the back. Hits Ethan Hepting in the chest. New goalie for TCU. Maybe a little bit late on that call. Not sure when he entered the game. It was Cummins to start. Lawton played all day yesterday and did a great job.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were talking about, that they had the chance to switch from a lefty to a righty goalie. We'll see if the Texas State guys notice that, you know, got to change up your shooters when you've got a hand change for a goalie. Hopefully TCU's probably thinking maybe we can get one or two off them, just not necessarily noticing it off the bat there.
Game getting frenetic again. Right there, down. Texas State just needs to possess the ball. Conversely, TCU needs to clear it. They failed to do so here. A lot of defense played by TCU in this game. Gaskell saying, hey, tranquilo. Going two-man here on the near side. They elevate Shifty Jacob Martin over the top. Gaskell back down here to Pope. Pope S-dodge, gets under, sticks one lefty right in front of the cage. Good job there by Texas State, just isolating the two shorties here on this lefty side. Setting up Pope. Pope gets underneath.
Yeah, to his left hand. Defensively, they did a great job of getting him under, right? Forcing him down to a lower angle, forcing him down towards the crease, that, you know, seventh defenseman, some say. And unfortunately, you know, Pope got just enough space where his back, he could cut those angles to get back into the middle. Nice little S-dodge, gets back to his dominant hand and puts it up top.
Yeah, and, you know, they forced him where you wanted, or where they wanted, you mentioned, but Texas State's got good movement on the backside, which means two slides are hard to come by. Even ones in that case. Blake Taylor fakes a defenseman to hold him in space. Finds Dylan Lemon. Two very, very quick goals there by Texas State. And now it's 10-3. Bobcats leading with 9:40 left here in the game. Certainly feels like with those two goals, the momentum has 100% shifted in Texas State's favor. Now, back to the basics, right? Make sure that you possess, don't take penalties. If your TCU stops possessions and clears. Another face-off win by Steven Alexander, Stevie.
Alexander's going something like 80% today, maybe more. It's been a big, big factor in the game. Getting Texas State all these possessions, kind of trapping TCU on this side of the ball.
Yeah, the field has completely been tilted in Texas State's favor. Back to the big swing. They get off the stack in the crease. Just move it down and through. DC's going. Ward call. Tough one to pick up. Probably the right move. The Ward, in my opinion, Ward and the shot clock are two rules that probably need to, definitely the Ward, need to be re-looked at. The wording from a warding standpoint is pretty much everything is a ward if it's by the way the rules are written.
Yeah, and in youth they've actually changed the rules a little bit more.
Oh dear, Fogarty with a nice little shot there.
Kind of like a little drop step. almost. A little bit of a roll.
Yeah, drop step, carries down, just goes extended cradle or face dodge, and then drop step, slings one low to high out of his drop step to the near side. Not sure that Moose Winery ever saw it.
Yeah, I think it was a nice little natural screen from the defenseman there.
Yeah, tough release point with his wrist, stick probably hidden behind his body out of his drop step, and just got Winery on the near side there, 10-4. Good answer and response by Fogarty. TCU down 6, 8:21 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Back to the face-off X.
Let's see if this brings some new life into the Horned Frogs late.
They're not done yet. They're going to keep competing. There is no doubt about that. They play hard. Nunez comes up with a big GB in traffic. Gets checked. Alexander comes up with it. Now he gets checked. Somehow comes back to him. Big save there by Hepting. Luis again with it. The Palomalo hair. Texas State looking to try and get back into their zone right here quickly. Oh, they've got a headman. TCU does. Carrying, good recovery there. Pretty much the same hit we saw earlier from the same player. Slash called. Got a flag down on a slash and then a flag down on an offsides call.
I got a lot of laundry on the floor. If I'm Texas State, I'm slowing this thing up. Doesn't look like they're gonna.
No.
But they've got a chance to take a nice, lengthy possession here, unimpeded by a shot clock, before getting into a two-man upset. Potentially even three. I mean, I see another flag on the far side of the field. We know the first one's going to be the slash. Second one looked like it was an offside, but you never know.
That's Gaskell. Just go ahead and get one for insurance. It's 7:04. Texas State now taking an 11-4 lead. You hear the Texas State faithful with their Texas State eat 'em up, go Cats, go cheer. Not quite as loud as what you hear back in San Marcos, where it just echoes all across campus, but they're doing a good job supporting their guys. See what the refs figure out here for the penalty situation.
I think we're going to have one man down with the slash.
Yeah, and I think the offsides is waved off by the goal, so
looks like it might have been two waves, so maybe a push and an offside.
Yep. So Texas State man up for a minute with a 7-goal lead. 7 minutes left here in the fourth. If I'm Texas State, I'm probably just not even taking a shot here. I'm okay with running a minute off the clock and then having a possession after that.
Right, you're looking at, 2.5 minutes of possession before, ultimately, even if you got a minute possession, they put the timer on. Yeah,
right.
I like those numbers.
You're right. It's another interesting rule is the shot clock and how it's enforced, because as it's written, you're not really entitled to sub, you know? Oh, wow. Ball goes inside, squirts around. Lemon finds it in the air, quick sticks it, and then I think he was called in the crease, or one of the other Texas State players called in the crease. So TCU, the chance to breathe if they can clear this ball here. They're out. Man down, or man up here for Texas State. Now we're back to even. Fogarty's got the ball up top here on 31, Douglas Britton. Dougie. On cue, we get a Rydam Doogie call here. Back to the invert for TCU. Step down look here from Beatty. He winds up.
Nice hitch from Beatty, but unable to.
Yeah, good trail track there by Elliott Smith after Beatty got a step on him.
Gotta be careful not to get a ward call there. So going back to that, I wanted to get a little piece on that ward action you were talking about earlier. I was reading the youth rules for warding, and yeah, it's not even just the arm. It's if any part of your body that is not the stick is used as, for lack of a better word, a ram or even a shield per se. You know, it's considered by the rules in the legislation award, which, I mean, if you look at lacrosse today, a lot of guys putting their shoulder and head down, physically dodging. I mean, if we're being to the rule about it, it's probably going to be award.
Pretty much everything.
Which is
Anytime
tough.
there's contact and the ball is in your stick, it could be called one. Now, the refs certainly don't play it that way. Most of the time, the one that you see in youth and high school is when you kind of go for that bull dodge. And the point of emphasis now, at least at the high school level, from an email that I saw from the league earlier this season, is really the offense is entitled to the same amount of space and contact as the defense. So in other words, if you throw your shoulder into a defenseman in his chest, right, that's a clean hit if you're on defense, so you're allowed to do that offensively. Now, what they're really looking for is, do you lower your head? Texas State gets a wide open look inside. Lemon unable to finish that. TCU wins the chase. 11-4. 4 minutes left. Texas State still playing hard. They're riding hard. Again, great job of delaying the clear. Getting deep in the timer here. There's the 10-second call. Find the head man.
Big save by
wow.
Winery.
Saxon throws his hands a couple times. Decreases his angle. Winery stays calm there. Jake Hamilton. Big ground ball. Huge save there by Moose Winery.
Here we go.
Texas State Tindy. They don't
Spin
call him
cycle
Moose
coming.
for nothing.
Spin cycle is coming.
Jacob Hamilton self-clears the ball.
You've been
now
warned.
he's got it. He's going at it. Jab step. He's in. Gets to the middle. Takes a shot.
I can tell by the way he's just walking there and everybody was ignoring him.
No chance. Jacob Hamilton is not going to the cage there. You called it.
Didn't even have to spin cycle. Just got his man top side.
Yeah, hard jab step and just went. He's a great athlete.
Beatty's got the matchup. Looking to turn the corner. Oh my! One-handed little shovel inside to Hoke.
Winery with another huge save.
And there it is again. That lefty over the shoulder catch by Savoy that you spoke about earlier.
Winery, Team USA.
Yeah, the whole team, I know.
US Boxla goalie. Box lacrosse goalie plays summer box up in the Colorado Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, I think is what they're calling it, the CBLL. Is that right?
CBLL?
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then there's Hanner with one for a little bit of insurance. 2:12 left. It's 12-4. Texas State's up. This one's pretty much academic at this point. 8-goal lead, Texas State. Again, TCU, a game they're unable to ultimately finish. They were in it the whole time. I mean, the score wasn't necessarily close the whole time, but they're right there. Texas State goalies played tremendous today, making big-time saves. The clear and ride was really the ultimate difference, in my opinion, though. That extended offensive possessions for Texas State. Here's a face-off win here for TCU. They get it to Hoke. Hoke with low-to-low from deep at the point. Beatty wins the chase. 2:01 left on the clock.
Yeah, TCU's goalies played a pretty good game too. I mean, obviously saw a lot of rubber, but could have been a lot. Ooh, and Beatty with no angle.
Yeah.
Gets just an inch top side. He'll get those.
He hung that about as far up in the corner as you can, went piping in. 12-5. Good to see him still playing. 7-goal lead for Texas State. 1:49 left here in this contest. Just feels like Texas State had the ball the whole game, right?
Yeah, that's really, I mean, got to be, the tail of the tape there is that with the face-offs and the lack of the ability to clear the ball, it really really got, you said it well, tilted early in that regard, the possession. Because, I mean, TCU made stops, on the defensive end, failed to get it out. You take penalties from being tired late in possessions. Extra man opportunities equals further fatigue, right? And then, die of 1,000 cuts, death of 1,000 cuts per se.
Yeah, they played a ton of defense.
See here, TCU gets the next 2 face-offs in a row, 2 fast breaks to see if they can recreate.
Yeah, the lack of William Creedon on the field today certainly hurt TCU. Not sure it would have been the difference in winning and losing, but certainly would have awarded them more opportunity. Here's Reed Lewis scoring up the long stick, taking the righty alley, rolling back, bangs it over the top to Boyce. Boyce, right to left split, rolls back to the middle, double comes early. Beatty finds a trash goal and then goes behind his back. It's one of my favorite ways to score in the crease is loose ball, scoop behind the back. No one is expecting it. Your stick's already coming up on that trajectory, so you don't really have to do much Just get it on cage. He does that there. 12-6, 6-goal lead. As I said, TCU's not just going to roll over. They're going to keep playing to the final whistle.
Yeah, and you love seeing that as a spectator and even as a coach yourself. People that compete from start to finish, right? You got to be able to play 100% of the reps at 100%.
Right. You got to keep going. There is no reason to stop regardless of what the score is. Like, these kids are showing a lot of pride and their ability to compete, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
This is Saxon, right to left split, carries the lefty alley, moves it down, back up to Saxon, swings it over the top. Try to move it down the alley to Beatty and just kind of slips away. 34 seconds left here in Fort Worth. This north-south battle of Lone Star Alliance foes, TCU and Texas State. Texas State will be the 4th seed coming out of the South Division for the upcoming playoffs, and then TCU, they're going to be the 3rd seed out of the North. TCU will face, who's the 2 seed? Texas out of the South? Yep, Texas out of the South, and Texas State will play OU. 0 seconds on the clock, 12-6, Texas State wins on the road here in Fort Worth. Want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Lone Star Alliance for allowing Stickstar Productions to be a part of their season. We'll be down in Austin for the Final Four. Big thanks to my main man, Patrick Franklin, joining me on the mic today, and all of you guys for tuning in. Oh, one more. The TCU Parents Association for making this possible. They brought us on for some extra coverage. We want to thank them for making this possible. And for any of you guys out there who have programs that would like to see your games live streamed, please reach out to us at connect@stickstarlacrosse.com. Once again, I'm Kyle Saunders alongside Patrick Franklin. Patrick, it's been a lot of fun. Good to see you, buddy. And we'll catch up down the road.
Yeah, man. Good call.